So again, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our webinar today at Operations1. The webinar, as you see, is called Operational Excellence in 2026 and how variant handling will increase your profits. Before we begin, let me briefly introduce us. So this webinar will be hosted by our CEO and co-founder, Daniel Grobe. My name is Sarah. I'm the Senior Product Marketing Manager here at Operations1. And we welcome you. Let me first go a bit into some housekeeping items. So we will have a section dedicated to questions in the end. You can post those in either the Q&A or the chat. Feel free. That's no problem. Any questions that we are not able to answer due to time reasons, maybe, we will definitely get back to you afterwards. So nothing will be lost. We're planning around about 40 minutes for this webinar today, maybe 45, depending on the questions we have in the end. All right, Daniel, then I'm handing over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Sarah. So hello also from my side. It's a pleasure being here to tell you about Operations1, about our software, about what we can do to improve your productivity and operational excellence. So to give you a brief introduction about Operations1, so we are a spin-off from the German Research Institute, Fraunhofer. So we had our origins there where we as research assistants worked on several Industry 4.0 projects back in the day. So it's already 10 years ago where we got a look on different projects there, identified that the gap in manufacturing companies is still very, very big when it comes to digitalization on the shop floor. And based on that, we started to build the company. And you see, we are broadly in different industries. We have 3 different locations and operating around the world. And I'm looking forward to an interesting session today to show you how we can increase your productivity, because in the end, what we see day to day, that regardless of your industry and company size, you're all facing the same challenges on how to be successful in these days. Let's come to our mission, what is driving us. So when we started the company, for us, it was always clear that we want to improve the productivity of manufacturing companies by running all the operational processes on one central platform. So this means basically to make it easier for your workers on the shop floor to carry out the work, and for you as a company to have the transparency about what's going on, to adapt flexible to changes in the environment. May it be a new product variant. So this is the main focus for today. Like, how can variants be tackled best way? And what I said, this is basically the things that we are driving. I already briefly touched the foundation of the company. You see that the journey is quite remarkable so far. I'm really proud on that, what we achieved as a team here. So we started what I said, nearly 10 years ago. Now we are reaching millions of processes every day that are carried out on the platform. And especially now after being able to acquire very, very prominent companies that you see here, like Bosch, like ThyssenKrupp, like Trumpf, John Deere, Liebherr. We are now also heavily working on AI. So how can AI leverage the platform that we are delivering to you even more in the future? So this is also something which could be like a webinar on its own. Looking forward to the future here, because we have great stuff ahead of us.
All right, before we really dive deeper into the topic of today, I would like to hear your points of view, your opinion on what the biggest challenges on your shop floor are as of today, as of right now. Most of you actually say that the biggest challenges are long onboarding and training times for new employees, and handling product and variant complexity in a daily operational scenario. So it's a good thing that that's what we're talking about today. So handing back to you, Daniel.
Yes, so I think this little question already pins it pretty much down what's the topic. And what I already said, the challenges are, what we see day to day, pretty much the same. We have here like an example how the work in many cases typically look like. And unfortunately, we do not have another survey right now, but I would be very interested if you see the same on your side. So maybe feel free to write in the comments if you see, yes, this is also how it looks on our side. This is basically what we get as a reply when we work with companies, that they say, oh, basically it could be on our end what we see here. So what do we see? We see a person working still on paper, different information formats, different things to do. May it be checklists, may it be work instructions to carry out the work. And also we see related problems on the left and right hand side. So we see that it's in general like the complexity of the variants to handle this one on the shop floor. It's also combined with the increasing risk of knowledge that is gone through the demographic change. And also that's why it's also for us very important to see it on the international context, that language barriers are an additional topic as well when it comes to like proper execution on the shop floor. So based on this, these are the main things that we are addressing with our software platform. And because this execution and a good operational excellence is very, very important in these days, because the environment around us is changing fundamentally. And if we go to the next slide, we see that manufacturing companies are successful if they can deliver high quality and also customized or tailor-made solutions. So this is something which is really key in today's world, what the global markets are requiring, to have best quality, tailor-made solutions for the best fit for the respective use case. May it be machines, may it be industrial products. These are very important things. And also, as a company in these days, it's very important to be flexible, because low batch sizes are the new normal. So high mix, low batch sizes. And this also comes to the point that we have a lot of variants in the end. And this alone is already quite tricky for a manufacturing company. But if you now also put on top the current challenges that we have in the world right now, leading to like high degree of economic uncertainty, this is like even making it worse for you to plan. You need to be even more flexible. And this is also something where the customer requirements even increase further. And on the other hand, what I also mentioned, we have like the shortage of skilled workers. What we also saw just in the survey, that onboarding and in general getting the right people in place is something that is a challenge for you and for the companies. So that's why it's very important for us also to work close with the companies to really understand how can we best deliver the value. And this was we did, I think, quite well in the past to anticipate that and to deliver a great product to tackle all these items.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Daniel, for these great insights from your and also our company-wide experiences with our customer base. But maybe let's have a look at what will actually help companies, because I guess that's what you're all here for, in these current times with all those challenges to really stay successful.
Yeah, so it's already staying there, and here we have it in big. I think flexibility is key today for a manufacturing company, and for that you need a digital and flexible shop floor. So I see this quite a lot when I talk with industrial companies, that they have like a digitalization strategy in place and an AI strategy in place, but when it comes to the shop floor, it's still not well digitized, and the gap between the strategy and the execution is quite big. And so that's why in general, flexibility on the shop floor, flexibility as a company is the main point. And this is also what we are addressing with our software. So to get people fast on board to deliver best quality, tailor-made work instructions and so on. So flexibility is key. And if we have a look on flexibility, what does it mean on the shop floor level? Here are some items, and I think this pretty much also captures what we had in the survey with like the onboarding, also to meet the customer specific requirements and so on. And you could probably carry on this list even longer. And if we structure this a little bit, we see that you can separate the items into like a more operational dimension, and you could also put it in a strategic one. But I think before we start, Sarah, we do have a second
yes,
survey,
we do.
right?
Yeah, I think we jumped a bit ahead of here. Maybe a very quick stop here on my side, because I actually have another question that I would like you to have a look at. So the question this time is, how flexible is your shop floor today when it comes to product and variant changes? So actually, a lot of you say that you are already quite flexible when it comes to changing your setup, but others are not so flexible yet. So then let's continue and hear what where we can change that.
All right, yeah, so here we have it. To sum it up, flexibility for us means to be able to handle product and process variants, and also to see deeper what does it mean for you as a company on the one hand side on an operational level, and on the other hand on this more strategic level. So on the operational side, being more flexible and also mastering that one. And I'm pretty curious how the guys who are voting like pretty well, how they are doing it today, because we see that there's a lot of potential still. But still, if you handle this one well, you can reduce your error rate and, for example, also increase the first time right quote by providing the right information, the right place. The people know what needs to be done. And on the other hand, also to increase like the OEE, if you can adapt to like the requirements around us, to have the proper information in place, to be faster in reaction and so on. And also what we saw earlier, the onboarding of people and also the happiness of your workers is a big factor to increased productivity. And on the other hand, on the strategic level, if you think long term, you're more flexible, and we see this a lot of times. One of the use cases that we are covering with our customers is also to relocate or set up new factories. So if you want to move from one to another location, you need to transfer as well the knowledge, the process knowledge to carry out the work. And on the other hand, also to be, for example, compliant with customer audits, that you have tracked everything. And also what I mentioned earlier, the digital shop floor is also the first step towards the leverage through AI. So that's why all these things are what we basically touching. So to sum that one up, flexibility has a positive effect on your top line revenue and increase also the profits based on that, because you make less mistakes. And on the other hand, it's for the future important to increase also your competitiveness, because the constant or the only constant right now is the ongoing madness and change in the world. So that's why it's very important to be flexible here as well, to react and adapt as a company. And now let's have a look, I would say, how we are doing this, right?
Yes, let's have a look at how that works in Operations1.
Yes, so this is basically the core, and probably all of you already have a first impression what we are doing. So basically it's about digital workflows. This could be work instruction and checklist. This is the foundation, really the bottom layer. So we call it also like the execution layer that we are building with Operations1, that the people know what needs to be done. And this, with multimedia, so with images and videos, and also like in different languages, so that you can collaborate even if your people speak different languages, that you can establish standards across different locations, because you can set the standard and then translate it easily to other languages. And what we are doing special is like that on the one hand side, it's pretty easy to use. And on the other hand is also the possibility to connect to various systems. What we see here on the left hand and right hand side, so that we close this execution gap and fill the last meters, so to say, to the worker. So to cover this one digital and connect it to the leading systems, so that we, for example, get an order from the ERP, then it's matched to the proper work instruction, and then the work's carried out in Operations1 and sent back with the confirmation to the leading system again. And this is one. And the second thing that we are focusing pretty much on, and this is also the topic for today, is variant knowledge or variant handling. So what's special in our platform? So you can capture and document your knowledge and checklist pretty easy. So a step-by-step no-code builder to build this workflows, and then you can group your different process steps. So you can create modules, and we see this here, that you can create modules, for example, for the different process steps, may it be in production or in maintenance, and then you can combine these modules. Because in many cases, you have like standard components that are same across different documentations, and then you have variant-specific modules, and then you can combine them. So dependent on the input factor. So here, for example, we have an ERP with a customer order that is from Germany, and there it says it's a specific variant, and in the end, we are matching this information from the ERP system, and the proper documentation is created on demand. So that's really something which, is something that reduces your effort to create all this documentation. That if you have the modules and then you have the input factors from the ERP, you can directly create or on demand can create this respective documents so that the worker just receives the information that he or she needs. So no additional information where you or the worker needs to decide what needs to be done or not, just the tailor-made documentation. And this really speeds up the process and let people create less errors, make them more comfortable by carrying out the process. And this is for us one of our key factors, key features that we are delivering here, so that we are able to break down this complexity into like easy tailor-made instructions for the worker. And this problem of variance, it's not just applicable in like one area of your company. And this is also the idea of Operations1, one software for your operations workforce, so that we are always targeting together with our customers the entire shop floor. So from like the goods received department to production, assembly, quality inspection, maintenance. So all the areas in these companies are facing the same problem of this process variance, because it's like a complex system, and the value chain is really connected tight. And so you have it always there, and that's why we can tackle it across a company and then have a very fast rollout, not just within one factory, but also across the different factories. So we are aiming also globally here, of course. And what's in for the customers, for the users, we see this here. One example, this is Europe's largest furniture producer, who is like pretty intense user of Operations1. So we started there some years ago, and it started all with like the assembly area, where we replaced the paper-based and Excel-based work instructions, put it into digital documentation Operations1, connecting that one to the ERP to create tailor-made work instructions, because you need to imagine a piece of furniture is not just like a stupid piece of like a good, it's like a very complex item today already. You can choose between different specifications, and this brings huge complexity to the manufacturing process of this furniture pieces. And so that's why the need was quite high, because they wanted to reduce the onboarding times, and also to create a medium for the worker that's easy to use, proper to today's world, and also to avoid employee turnover, because the people, once they are onboarded and happy with their work, they stay at your company. If you're not able to onboard them, it's very hard to keep the people there. And after we covered the assembly area, we rolled it out also to their 9 or 10 factories in the meantime, and also to other teams like the quality department, same logic, tailor-made quality checklist. So to cover the entire process in a digital way. And it's definitely one of the biggest or complex processes for this company, because they are selling so many pieces of furniture and they need to handle so many different variants. But with Operations1, they are able to reduce their training time in their factories, to also be able to make acquisitions of other like individual furniture producers. So they're growing quite massively, this company, and they are using Operations1 to standardize their work, to reduce their onboarding times by around 70%. So this really has a big impact on their growth. And it's quite impressive example here on how Operations1 can be used. We have another example, right? So here we have a company called Oetiker. So they are located also around the globe. So we have a very big installation there in Canada. And this is also something where it was about increasing productivity. In their case, this one was driven by the OEE. And based on what they had prior to Operations 1, they had like an MES in place, but the documentation was still not very good. And the goal was to create like variant specific documentation. And so we connected Operations 1 to their ME system and get like the respective order information from their end and like tailor-made work instructions and checklists that are easy to use for the workers. And this is pretty impressive what we are able to achieve there, that we could increase the availability of these machines quite fast because information is flowing way faster and the people are making less mistakes in like setting up the machine or like repairing that one. And so that's why it's pretty impressive what we reached here. And also like with the global rollout in Europe, but also in Asia right now. And yeah, it's also a good example of how Operations 1 with like first you might think, okay, it's just the work instruction or checklist, but this is also what fascinates me, that this is just the starting point to change how manufacturing companies work. And this is also like our vision to define how manufacturing companies work in the future, because there's so much more potential still. And yes, with that, I think we could also come to another point when it's about like flexibility and usage of knowledge. So what I just said, we are just about to get started because we have now with our platform, we are able to solve the most complex cases of manufacturing companies to connect our platform to their leading systems. And now comes AI. And for us, AI was right from the beginning something which is a big shift in what's possible and a big opportunity to leverage the existing knowledge to a new dimension. So in our case, we have our AI supported worker guidance. So not just the document in Operations 1, but we are combining these three sources of knowledge that you have in your company. So you might have also PDF manuals still. You might have old PowerPoints and Words, and you also have your leading systems where you have a lot of information stored. And of course, if you use Operations 1, you have dynamic knowledge in Operations 1. And with our AI assistant, we are combining this knowledge and so that the worker receives the best possible information based on his situation, so he can can make use of previous solutions that the company found. You can access the knowledge even easier, like from the different sources, don't need to search for that one and make it context specific. And looking forward, this is just one item of on how we use AI. There will be much more in the future. And this is really something which is, for us always fascinating because since we are working with so many different companies together, it's always fascinating to see that all have the same challenges and we are all working towards one goal. And this is to increase the productivity, to stay ahead of competition, to develop new flexibility items. So to be able to anticipate or to react fastest way to the ongoing changes in the world. And here you see as well also some of our clients here, some of our customers that are working successful with Operations 1. And so I hope you got a first impression about what can Operations 1 do for you. And I think we are, for the moment,
we are more or less at the end. Maybe we can already take one or two questions in between. So there was one question here. Can you define variant-specific test plans and test documentation derived from the specific customer order bill of materials?
Yeah, so this is, I think, something what I showed earlier with the leading system. So for that, we have our own solutions team. So we would need to look deeper on which information you have available in this order. And then depending on the different trigger points, we could connect it to this leading system and then create this documentation out of that one.
Mm-hmm. And then there's another question.
Are you still there? We don't see you anymore.
Me?
Yes.
Oops. No, I'm still here. Okay, hold on. What happened? No, I'm still here. I don't know why
Okay,
you
I
don't
just
see
see a
me
blue
anymore, but
screen.
I'm still here. Sorry. As long as you can still hear me, that's all right.
Yeah.
So there's another question that's about device usage. So it says that we've seen a worker with a mobile device in their hand. What type of devices are necessary?
Yes. So basically, we need just a device that can either, use a browser. So it's on the one hand side web-based application. On the other hand, it's an app available for iOS and Android devices. So this is something, which is the only requirement to have a device that can run a browser, and we need just the access to the internet here.
All right, great. And then Daniel, you had just mentioned that we value our customers and especially the level of partnerships we have with them very, very much. And actually, there is some fantastic other events, but also specifically a customer event that we have coming up. Maybe you want to say a few things about those.
Yes, so here we have two more events. On the one hand side, we have another webinar that is taking place next week. So it will be around not just in general operational excellence, it will be also about how you can leverage your audits. So you have a lot of different audits in your company with different checklists and so on. And that's why you could also use Operations1 for that. So this will be next week. I think same day, same time. And then, of course, we have our Future Manufacturing Summit in June here in Frankfurt. So what you just said for us, it's about to deliver great software, but also to be a long-lasting partner. So we have so many good relationships with our customers, and using this to develop better software to get an exchange to help each other. And for that, we have created an own event series, and now we will bring it to another level with our Future Manufacturing Summit. So it will be in Frankfurt, as I said, and there will have a full day packed with interesting presentations from customers, from industry experts, and big possibility for you to get to know us, Operations1, personally, and also to connect to peers. And yeah, looking forward to that. Hope to see you there soon.
Yeah.
Yes.
The only thing we have to add is that the summit is happening in German. So maybe then next year we'll also have it in English. Let's see. But actually, thanks a lot. I think that's really an amazing event to be at, and we're really looking forward to it. And maybe to sum it up, I have one or two more questions that are actually very similar here that are concerning the typical rollout or onboarding process. So how long does a typical rollout usually take, especially looking at or comparing it to integrations with MES and ERP systems?
Yes. So it pretty much in most cases depends on the resource on your end. So in general, we have a standard onboarding scheme of 8 weeks. So this is like the standard case. If you want to connect to other systems, as I said, we have a consulting team, and we are estimating together with you the best approach for that. And in most of the cases, we are talking about weeks here, and we also bringing you to the into the place that you also can do the stuff on your own. So for example, we provide an API documentation that's pretty detailed. We do have connectors that simplify the connectivity between the different systems, but it really depends on also the governance on your side, how you connect software. So this is where we can help as well. But typically we are speaking around weeks. And then it also depends on the initial scope. So what we try to create is like pull factor to have the first use cases live within these first 8 weeks, and then afterwards that the software is like rolling it out on its own. We always call it like this, that you have a good foundation which you can use internally with the first use cases, and then afterwards the people can add more use cases once they understood how Operations1 is used. And so this is basically our experience here.
Great. All right. And then if there are, I think, no further questions, at least that can be answered in this round here, I will say thank you very much for your attention, for finding the time today in the afternoon to join us. And hopefully we'll see you soon and talk to you soon.
Yes. Thank you also from my side. And don't hesitate to reach out to us if you have more questions or want to get deeper. We're looking forward to get in touch with you.
Yes. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.